Hello and welcome to this lesson about problem-solving mixtures. The learning target for this video is being able to set up and solve mixture problems. So let's talk about a few things that we need to know. Part of it is vocab. So there are a few terms that we need to know. One is pure. When we see the word pure, that means 100%. And so we're going to be talking about solutions, and so you'll end up using 100% if you see the word pure. Second, sometimes you might see something like distilled water, or even just the idea of something being watered down. And the idea is that if you're using distilled water or you're watering something down, is you're adding something that is 0% of that solution. So that's what we need. Those are some vocab terms that we need to know in order to solve these problems. Now, let's talk about the tool that we're going to use. All right, this isn't its technical term, but I love using the phrase magic box, because the magic box is what's going to help us do all of this. This is what the magic box looks like. So make a big box. We're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to cut it into thirds. Now, what we're going to have is solution A up here, solution B, and then it's going to be equal to solution A plus B. And what goes off to the side is the amount, and what goes beneath it is percentage. And the way this works is that we are going to multiply these two together, the amount and the percentage, and then once we've done that, we add the two. So all this is a graphic organizer to help us sort our information so that way we can sift through the problem. And so make sure you have this copied down in your notes, because in a minute we'll take a look at some examples and we'll see how we apply this magic box. Because what we do is the magic box leads to the equation we need to use to solve the problem. So that's what makes it tricky. Now let's take a look at a problem and see how this magic box can be applied. So first I'll make my magic box before I even read it. I have my amount, which is what AM stands for, and percentage, A, B, and then A plus B. All right, the equal sign there. Cool. How many milliliters of pure acid must be added to 150 milliliters of a 30% solution to make a 40% solution? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take what we already know. So this right here, 150 milliliters of a 30% solution, we'll call that A. We have 150, and we have 30%, which I'll write as 0.30, because we're eventually going to have to use it as a decimal anyways. Now, we're going to have to add some pure acid. Remember, I said the word pure means 100%, so 1.00. And how much are we going to add? Well, that's the question. So if we don't know, we put X. And then the goal here is to obtain a 40% solution, so we'll put 0.4 there. Now let's keep in mind, there's a hard line right here. Two sides of this. This is where we're doing all the mixing, and then this is the result. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like these numbers will not play with each other quite yet. Now the hard part is figuring out A plus B. Well, what we'll do is we'll take these two numbers and add them together and put that there. Because you're taking 150 milliliters and you're going to add some unknown amount that we're trying to figure out. Now we have the setup for the equation. So keep in mind what I do is I take the two rows and I multiply them together. So I'll get 150 times 0.3 plus 1 times X is equal to 0.4 150 plus X. Definitely going to want to use a calculator here. It's going to make the number crunching a lot easier for you. So now we'll start to simplify. We'll get 45 when we go 150 times 0.3 plus X is equal to 150 times 0.4, which is 60, plus 0.4 X. All right, now it's about solving for X. So I would, let's see here, I'm going to subtract 0.4x from both sides. So that's going to give me, now keep in mind there's a 1 there, so that's going to be 0.6x, and I'll subtract 45 from both sides, and that's equal to 15. Divide by 0.6, so 15 divided by that gives me 25. Now I got to answer the question, which is, how much, let's see, how many milliliters of pure acid? Well, go back down here. That's going to be 25 milliliters of pure acid that needs to be added. So let's do one more example and get a feel for, again, how the whole magic box works, and also see a different look. Because what's going to happen is, in the magic box, we can move the variable around. So let's see what this one gives us. First, we'll make the magic box. Perfect. Again, amount, percent, A, B, A plus B, and keep in mind hard line because this is where it equals. We'll put a plus there. Suppose 20 gallons of a 20% salt solution is mixed with 30 gallons of a 25% solution. What is the percent of salt in the resulting solution? So now we just have to organize everything. We have 20 and 30 gallons. And so let's see here. We have, for the 20 gallons, 20%, aka 0.20, and then 25%, aka 0.25. So the tricky part here is figuring out the amount for this. Well, we're taking 20 gallons and we're adding 30 gallons, so we're going to get 50 gallons. And then for the resulting percentage of the mixture, that we don't know. That's the question mark. So that's where we put X. Now we got to keep in mind that this eventually is going to be a percent. So we're probably going to get a decimal, but let's see what we can get. So now we multiply the two rows together. So I'll get 20 times 0.20 plus 30 times 0.25 is equal to 50x. Actually, there's not going to be much solving I have to do here. It'll be pretty easy. So 20 times 0.2, 4. 30 times 0.25 is 7.5, and that is equal to 50x. And so now, let's go with 11.5 is equal to 50. Divide both sides by 50. And we end up getting x to equal 0.23. Now again, we have to remind ourselves, what did we say that x is going to be? We said it's going to be a percentage. So the final answer here is 23%. And so those are some nice examples of how we do these mixture problems. Just remember, it's all about setting up the magic box and then turning the box into an equation. So good luck with your homework or practice, and let me know if you have any questions.